What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Next Success. I am Skylar Beitendorp.
And I'm Adam Bastian.
Today we're going to talk about habits, how to break habits, how to create new habits that serve us better towards our creating goals.
What are good habits to have?
Some not so good ones, probably. So, yeah, we like to start with quotes or definitions. So we have a definition. Do you want to read that, Adam?
Sure thing. So this is from the almighty Google. It goes, a habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. And then it has a sentence underneath. It says, we stay together out of habit.
I feel like habits a lot of times are thought about as bad things. It's like, oh, it's a bad habit. We don't talk about good habits a whole lot in society. That's my experience, at least.
I think we
feel that
use I think we use a different word for it though. Like for good habits.
Yeah.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. So you have like bad habits, and then you have, man, it's not coming to me.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's not coming to me. It's gone.
Yeah, but we talk about habits a lot of times as bad things, which like can be. I hate labeling things good and bad, but I think there are a lot of habits that we have that can hold us back and slow us down towards our goals or that growth that we want to experience. Because some can move you forward like really fast in life. Like I think if you have really strong and solid habits, you can live like you can progress like years ahead of life in just like 6 months. But bad habits, they will keep you small and hold you in place wherever you are until you break those. So,
Yeah, and I think a lot of times bad habits are secrets too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. I think we all have bad habits. We all have good habits. And I mean, for personally, I have bad habits that are kind of a secret. Like I don't share often. Like how often do we share that
Right.
what we're bad at? We don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think getting out of that, I don't know how to get out of that is tough because it's different. I think a lot of it is just opening up to people, but I don't know, but like figuring out what your habits are, your good habits and your bad habits, especially your bad ones, and changing those to good ones are super crucial to our personal development.
Yeah. So what are some good habits to create and have?
Can I just tell you which ones some I have?
Yeah.
Instead of generalizing them.
Yeah, I like
at least that
better.
I think they're good habits that I love doing. So I love to work out. That's like baseline. I'm basically married to the gym.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sees me every day. It sees me at my worst. It sees me at my weakest, my strongest. I
like
touch the gym.
Yeah,
all the
good.
time. All the time. Very sometimes aggressively, and sometimes very sensual. And
It is your lover.
yeah, it sure is. I get to pick it up, and it gets heavier every day.
Yeah,
because it's fat. No, so I love to work out, and I love to read. I read quite a bit, and I think that's super good, especially for my brain, because it keeps my brain going and thinking about like life. So I love thinking, just like I don't know, I just like thinking.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to read a book and learn something or an idea or perspective that I've never had before, and then to sit there and think about it and develop my own personal idea or perspective on their perspective. And then and a lot of times it makes me dive deeper into a subject that I would have never thought I'd ever learn. And then it always comes about like roundabout, and I'm able to teach it to somebody else, or it's just personal benefit for me. It makes me feel smart, makes me feel good. And I feel like I share like 2% of everything that I learn from books and things that I think about. So I described it yesterday to some people. They were like, let's play a game. And I was like, oh yeah? Well, there's like 4 of us. And like, yeah, let's play what's Adam thinking? And I was like, well, good luck. I was like, I got like, it's like my brain is like 1,000 hamster balls with hamsters in them. And they're just running and running and running and running. And
Mm,
then eventually one of those balls break. And then all the thoughts inside that hamster ball just kind of
yeah,
like fall out of my mouth or fall into my brain. And then it just, I think like crazy things. But yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the things I like to read, and I love to write. I think that's like a newfound love.
I like it. Those are
So
great habits, like keeping up on your physical fitness, like our physical bodies, because our bodies, like this is what you have. Like, this is the body you have for life. Like, take care of it. And I think that's a great habit to to create is taking care of yourself. Um, and then the mind, reading and writing, taking in new information and taking thoughts and ideas that you have and getting them out and down on paper. Those are powerful things because I think it inspires new thoughts
hmm.
and you gain new knowledge when you read.
I didn't really connect the two when you said that, like reading and writing. But
Yeah, one's like going
now that I
in,
say it, yeah,
one's coming
one's
out.
coming out, one's
Hmm.
input, one's output. That's really good. Do you think that some people don't, like you talked about like physical health? Like some people hate to work out and stuff.
I mean, I don't necessarily love it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'm like it's always after that I feel good, that I enjoy it. But when I'm doing I'm doing a couple sets of pull ups and I'm on my 30th whatever pull up for that workout session.
Wow.
um, and I'm doing it. I'm like, this hurts. It's hard. It's not necessarily fun. But afterwards, I look in the mirror. I'm like, ooh, I like it. Like I know, like I enjoy getting stronger and better. And it's that feeling after, like, well, my body was used. Like I worked it, and I'm getting stronger. And I don't know the science behind it, but I know when people work out during and after, there's like the happy hormones are released.
Like dopamine and
Dopamine.
like good endorphins and
Uh
stuff.
huh. It's like you
Yeah.
feel like physically feel happier and good about yourself, and you just in general when we work out and when we use our bodies. So I think there's a lot of great benefits. It's like workout for the mental benefits as well as the physical ones, but they both come together and it's awesome.
hmm. I just
So
think like some people, I don't know, some people just hate it. Like
yeah,
every ounce of their soul hates working out. And it's just like it's interesting to me because I love it.
yeah,
Like I get so juiced and
hmm
just like amped up while I'm doing it. And I just doesn't make sense to me why some people don't. But
yeah. Well, I think anything new people don't necessarily love. Like anything that I think like it's fun to learn new things, but during the process of getting into the habit of learning something new, like an instrument, like it sucks. Day one of learning an instrument sucks because you can't play the way you want to play. It's that learning that kind of is like, ugh. But I feel like when after someone's maybe working out for a while and builds up that habit, starts to become more fun because they're like, hey, I'm used to this. Like I know, like when I do this, I go over here, do some push-ups, and I come over here, do lunges. Like start to create that routine for themselves to the point where they they just know what they're doing, and
right,
it's more fun when we're good at something.
that's true. And then I think we stretch ourselves too. The better we get, at least for me, I just want to get better.
Hmm.
And so I stretch myself and work harder at it.
Yeah,
So maybe when we have good habits, and so maybe when we have good habits, or in other words, we're doing things that we love, we'll seek excellence or betterment
yeah,
in it, which will then will push ourselves to learn more and to go farther and be better than we were before. So we're in a comfortable situation because we love it, but then we're making ourselves uncomfortable because we love it. Makes sense?
yeah. Totally. No, dude, I get the happiest and feel the best when I'm doing things that are hard. And that didn't used to be that way. I had to condition myself and eventually get to that point where being out of my comfort zone felt good because I kind of understood what was happening when I felt uncomfortable. Like when something was hard, if you understand what's happening when you're going through something hard, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm just lifting more weight. I'm getting stronger.
Hmm.
and doesn't make it so bad.
I think you said a word that kind of sums it up is that's conditioning.
Yeah.
It's like you said you conditioned yourself to be that way.
Hmm.
How did you do that?
I did that through like personal development. And I think a lot of it was also like like they say we're the average of the five people we spend the most time around.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know, and I'm not best friends with five crazy successful millionaires that, have amazing relationships and are
Hmm.
driving the nice cars and are helping, tons of people. But what I can do is I can follow them on social media. I can watch what they teach on there and on YouTube and can listen to their podcasts and get around them in that way. And I think as I did that, I started to kind of adapt their mindset on growth and just this getting better, like leveling myself up to the point where I was like, hey, like, let's go to the next level.
Do you think you knew what you were doing though? Like when you were in it, when you were conditioning yourself to be that way?
I
Or
not consciously, like,
were
yeah,
you just like throwing yourself in these
yeah,
situations and you were like, I don't really know exactly what's going on, but I'm doing it anyway? And do you think that helped you get better?
yeah, just the starting part, just doing it,
Yeah.
not really knowing totally. Yeah, because I have a tendency to overthink things, and I usually catch myself when I'm overthinking, but not always.
Hmm.
But I know that no matter what, whether I'm overthinking or not, if I just start, that's when I start to like things start to change, results start to change, my mindset starts to change, the way I think starts to change, and change can be good or bad. But so I'll say elevate, starts to elevate when I
Hmm.
move forward.
That's good. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was thinking about like I played tennis in high school and I just thought about I mean I didn't play football, but everybody plays football. But like when we did conditioning drills,
Mm.
especially in tennis and stuff, where we're like you that's like at the start of the season, it was like you couldn't play for more than 10 minutes without like dying.
Right.
But then at the end of the season you could play for hours and you'd be fine. And I think that was just due to like these drills where we'd be running back and forth, hitting these balls across the court, and we'd be sweating. We'd be covered in sweat. We'd be like, our muscles would be sore. Everything would hurt. And then our coach would look at us, and we just want to sit down. And he'd go, "Whoa, again." And we're like, "What? No. Like, can we have a break?" And he's like, "Do you want to lose?" And we're like, "No." And then we get up and we'd run it again, even though we were tired. And then we were like, "Is this it?" And he's like, "Nope, you got 10 more." And 10 more, like I'm already dead. And he's like, "Well, it's like if you're stronger than the other team, you'll win." And I think it sucked.
Yeah.
Like you get off of practice and you're tired, you're sore, you're angry because your coach is a jerk for making you run thousands of drills
Yeah.
nonstop. And but then it pays off. Like here comes the meat, and you win, and it feels so good. And just to look back and realize that it was because of the hard things you went through and like the suffering of the repetitiveness of these drills, you're able to win.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, like, when you were saying about like your personal development, like going to coaching things and stuff, learning how to do it. I don't imagine it was comfortable
Nope.
because it was new or it was so repetitive it hurt. But it was that repetitiveness, I think, of that created the habit of success for you to know it that well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of like something you were talking about is like as we condition ourselves and doing the hard things to get the result we want, it's not necessarily fun. Conditioning is not necessarily fun,
No,
especially in that sense.
it's garbage.
Yeah, it's like you just want the result. I think that's why a lot of people aren't successful is because they want the results, but they don't want to do what it takes to get the results. And that's what separates like average, mediocre from achievement and like becoming, great in that next like that yeah, the next level of yourself is by doing the things you don't want to do to have the things you want to have.
Yeah.
Um, like I also had a couple coaches, like personal development coaches throughout the years. I have one right now, and I do owe like a lot to them because they would give me challenges like,
Like
"Okay,
money? No, I'm
go
just
do
kidding.
this." And actually, I didn't hear what you said right
I
there.
said like money.
Like
I'm
money,
just kidding.
kind of.
No.
What? I don't know. Okay, so
You owe millions of dollars. No.
they would tell me to do things like I remember one challenge my coach gave me was to go live on social media and teach about declarations and to do my own declarations live on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so scary. And it's still on Facebook. If you scroll down far enough, you'll see it. But you can tell if you look at the camera, um, it's shaking as I'm like taking the video because I was so nervous.
Really?
Yeah, but I would never have pushed myself to do that and to get out of my comfort zone quite that much without having a coach. And so yeah, listen to people's great because I think that gives us a lot of good mindset and good like things we can do to become that that next level. Like having a coach, having that's why we have coaches in sports because they push us further than we would push ourselves,
And they know better than us.
and they know better than us. Yeah, they've been there, they've lived way more life than us.
You know the cool thing about being a coach is you don't need to be as good as your athletes.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't need, and I think that's so cool.
You don't need to be as good, but you need to have done it at
Well,
some
yeah.
point.
Well, you need to have the knowledge and you need to have the experience, but you don't need to be good.
Yeah.
Like you don't like it's like the football coaches, they
Mhm.
can't play football. They're a lot of times they're like half the size of their
Yeah.
team.
But they know the steps to take and how to build
Yeah, they know the
a,
strategy.
how to build the players so they can
Hmm.
win.
They know the plays. They know how the game works, and that's what makes them good.
Mhm.
Like I mean, you look at it like life. Like if you know life, if you know how it works, and you go get it, you don't necessarily have to be the greatest at it.
Yeah.
But it's like connecting with others and lifting other people up and helping them achieve. Because even though the coaches aren't playing the sport, they win when their players win.
Mhm.
Like they're on the sidelines the whole time,
Yeah.
but they win when other people win.
I like that.
Anyway, side note. But
No, yeah, dude, cuz like I do coaching, like personal development coaching, and I don't know if it's just over the years I've created this, but anytime I see someone win, when they buy the car they want, they get in that relationship, they start their business, I get so hyped and pumped for them. Like it's so cool. Like even when they like outperform me, I'm like, I think that's so
you're
sick.
like, yeah,
I'm like, heck yeah, I'm still coming. Like I'm gonna pass you one day.
nice.
But I mean, it's pass you, not necessarily that it's like a competition, but like I'm gonna make it too. But I love seeing people win. It's awesome. Um,
Habits, right? Yeah,
habits.
habits.
Um,
That's what we're talking about.
yeah. Let's talk about. You talked a little bit about bad habits and good habits, but like, how do we change that? If someone's listening and they have some bad habits, how do they s- stop the bad habits?
I think I think the first thing you have to do is recognize that it's a bad habit.
Mm-hmm.
Like recognize what you're doing is wrong or that it's not helping you. And that's hard to do because a lot of times bad habits they feel good. Like they make you feel good. They
Mm-hmm.
give you like temporary pleasure and temporary happiness.
But like that instant pleasure and
Yeah.
happiness.
And it's gone. Like it might be there for a little bit, but eventually it fades away. So recognizing that you might like it, but it's not bringing you anywhere. So I guess recognition is first. I don't know. I think just being honest and
Yeah.
maybe next honesty. I think that's what I do. I mean, there's things that I do now that I'm like, I don't like that I do that. And I know that it's not right. And then I have to be honest with myself and be like, you really, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I do want that. Like I'm honest and I'm like, I want to, I don't know how to describe it without, I'm just going to say it.
Mm.
So I like some of my bad habits.
Sure.
That's that's it. That's what I couldn't get out. I was trying to lie. I can't.
Uh-huh.
I won't lie.
No, yeah, dude, that's what this podcast is about,
It-
honesty and
yeah, it's like I straight up love some of my bad habits, and it's not good.
yeah,
And I know I need to change them, and I eventually I want to change them, and I'm working on them. But how do you let go of something you like? You know what I mean?
right. Well, because like one of my habits, I don't know if it's necessarily bad because I don't overindulge, but every time I finish a meal, dude, I get a craving for some sort of sweet, like candy or
Dude,
ice cream or something. Like
that
I
is
want it to the point where it's like I'm like looking for like even if I don't have it, I'll still check the cupboards to see if I got it.
that is so, dude.
It's kind of a habit because I always find something.
Yo, I
You know,
love candy.
it's great.
That is what I do. I love candy. Like I will slam bags and bags of candy, and it is so good. And I know I shouldn't, but every time I do it.
Yeah. So like yeah, because like I don't. I mean,
Like, how do you let go of
it
something you like?
right. And I think a lot of bad habits that people have, they're only bad because they overindulge. So like some bad habits could be like playing too many video games, eating too much junk food, um, watching too much TV. You know, a little bit of that stuff is great. That's fine. And when you choose to eat the candy, have that bowl of ice cream, love the ice cream, enjoy the candy while you're eating it. But like, no, I'm only having a couple pieces. I'm only having a few scoops. Enjoy it, and then set it aside. Do something else. Only watch 1 or 2 episodes of your TV show, and then go do something more productive. Like it's okay to enjoy and
Indulge.
indulge a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but maintain that control and that self control through it.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Good.
As you were saying that, it reminded me kind of, I thought about this a while ago. I was thinking about like addiction, or we can say bad habits, because it's basically what
It's
it
kind of
is.
the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like to a degree. I think addiction is more
So,
intense.
yeah.
Like it has a lot more heaviness to the word than
There's a
than a
lot. Yeah.
bad habit.
You're right.
And so, but I was thinking like, how do we overcome addiction? And I was thinking, how do people do it? Like how I was thinking about that, and I was like, I wonder how I could put that into words. So I'm sitting here thinking about it, because I had a, well, I guess I'll tell you how this came up. So I was out with some friends, and we were walking on some beach next to the lake. I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's not a beach. I don't know what you call that. It was sand. It was a beach.
Sure.
But I used to play video games like you can't believe growing up, and these friends that I was with love video games, and that's like they play a lot of video games. And one of them came up to me and he's like, Adam, how do you? I want to stop playing so many video games. He's like, how do you do it? And I was like, I don't know. And I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. I was like, I just stopped one day. I was like, I started living life. I
Yeah.
just started doing other things. And I didn't really have a solid answer for him. And I don't know, it bothered me that I didn't have an answer for him, because I was like, I didn't know how I stopped playing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know at all. And so I was thinking about it. And then one day it just hit me. It was like, it wasn't necessarily referring to video games, but just to like addiction in general. But it was like, maybe we overcome addiction, or in this case, bad habits, because we find something we love more. Because like I just said, I like some of my bad habits. Or I could say, I love some of my addictions. But when we find something we love more than that, is when we start to change. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, what do you think about that?
No, yeah. I think like just stopping a bad habit's really, really like it's tough. But like replacing it is a lot easier. Um, like I remember
Tag up? That's good. Whoa.
that's what you just said.
Replace it. I mean, you just said it clearer.
Like I remember a long time ago, I had kind of like a coach, I guess. I was telling him about one of my bad habits, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And he stopped. He's like, "Okay, when you want to indulge, when you feel that habit coming on, do some push-ups. Like when you get that feeling, your body's going to want to go one direction, go a different direction. Put on shoes, go on a run, and just pick something that you do every single time. Like don't constantly change it because that's not going to create a habit. That's not going to change the habit. But like say I was choose running, he was saying that eventually, I think it takes 60 or 90 days to like actually form a habit for it to like not for it to kind of go on autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying at eventually I will just start putting on my running shoes and start running because I'll just consciously like kind of unconsciously feel that desire coming on, and then it'll just go away
Hmm.
because I've redirected what to do when I get that feeling, that like desire to maybe eat candy or something like that.
Yeah. On a very
So
small scale, eating candy.
yeah, very small scale, you know.
But yeah, I guess that's true. I think redirecting
Mm-hmm.
that feeling, that's kind of cool because if you redirect it, you're not taking away the power of it. You're just putting that power into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Because some emotions and things like addictions and stuff, we all have addictions. I'm sure that good addictions, bad addictions, in between addictions.
Yeah.
But that's a powerful emotion we feel, especially when it's negative and it's bad. And I think that's cool of like redirecting it because you're not stopping that powerful emotion. You're just changing the direction of it. And so you're putting that power into something else. That's so cool. I
I
don't know
like
what.
it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's dope. Um,
It's like a boost, like a charge.
yeah. Something else that's coming to mind is habits can a lot of times be connected to environments. So if you go to
Yeah.
the once you step in that gym that you go to, I bet you have some habits. Like you probably maybe get a drink first, go to the locker room, or you tag in first. Like there's certain habits associated with that environment, and I found that it's really easy to create and stop habits when like I move. When I change where I sleep and everything, it's a lot easier to create those new habits because it's a new environment. Like they say, like if you're an alcoholic, don't go to the bar because you have tendencies at the bar. It's not necessarily that you just can't stop yourself from going to the store and buying alcohol or whatever. It's like you don't go somewhere like where you're likely to give into your habits to
Right. So here's a question for
overindulge.
you.
Yeah.
So I was actually thinking about this the other day. Um, but I was thinking about what changes a person. Like I was asking myself a bunch of questions, and it was just like, why can some people change so quickly? Like it seems like it, but then others it takes their whole life to change.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. And I was thinking about like a fire. So if there's a big old fire, or just a fire in general, like a pretty roaring, rip roaring fire, just chilling,
Mm-hmm.
producing that heat, going nuts, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and we want to put out that fire, and we have two things to put it out. We have a bucket full of water, and then we have a little hose. Which one would we go for? The bucket of water. It's a big bucket of water, full of water. And we take that bucket of water and we dump it on the fire, and the fire goes out. Sick, right?
Yeah.
It's out. We walk away, not knowing that that bucket of water just put out the surface layer of that fire.
Mm.
Underneath, there's more embers and coals. And so we walk away, and that fire ignites back up after the top dries, and the fire keeps going. And I was thinking about this all the other day. I even wrote it down on a piece of paper, stuck in a little note journal thing that I got. But and I was thinking that's one way we sometimes we solve problems or try to fix them or whatever or change. But then there's the other way. It's a little hose. It has a little stream on it, and we spend some time and we're putting out this fire. And it takes a lot longer, but we're able to shift through once the top layer gets out, we add some pressure on it and we get down to the deep layers of it. And it takes a long time, it takes a while, but eventually it's out to the point where we can rub our hands in the like the hot coals that are now lukewarm or cold because of the water. And I was thinking kind of what you said, like what if the bucket of water is more like separation or isolation from a problem rather than, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like what you're saying is we can, I don't know, because sometimes stopping bad habits, we can do that, but then they can come back.
Yeah, if we
It's
do it wrong.
right. So you said you had a question. What's the question attached to that?
I did have a question. I think I forgot.
Is it kind of like
Like, I guess what do you think
how to
about
put
it?
them
Like,
out forever?
yeah, so what do you think about that? Like, do you think we do that? Like, we recognize we're doing something wrong or we're doing something bad, and we kind of not fake it, but we kind of dump a bucket of water on it, on our fire or problem, you could say. So the water's solution, the fire's the problem, and we take a bucket full of water and dump it on it like crazy, and then we walk away because it looks out. But then later down the road, it comes back, and then we're just like, man, this sucks. And then, but then there's the hose that takes a lot longer, and it takes a lot more work. It doesn't throw out water like crazy, but you can add pressure to it, whatever. I guess like maybe it's just I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I got problems and I just dump water on it, expecting it to be fixed and be put out. And then years, months down the road, it comes back. And now I'm like, why? And then I'm like, it's because I did it wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
And I,
what do you think about that?
well, yeah, what's coming? I have a couple things coming to mind,
Yeah.
but one of them is um, anytime I've changed a habit for someone else or because I thought it was the way I was supposed to live, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily how I wanted to live, that's when it would come back because I wasn't really doing it for myself. Like at my core, I didn't really care
Right.
to change it, but I knew other people were like, oh, right? But like I didn't really care. So I think really getting honest with yourself, like, am I ready to change this? Um, or am I okay with it being a part of my life now? You know, whatever it may, or to have it continue to be a part of my life. So there's that. And then another thing I'm thinking, there's a story I was told. This guy who he was a smoker, and he'd been trying to quit forever. And so he went to this guy, and he was like, "Hey, how do I quit? Like, I want to stop. What do I got to do?" He's like, "Okay, well, how much do you smoke?" And he told him, he's like, "Hey, you smoke a lot. So here's what we're gonna do."
Yeah, go, boy.
He said, for the first month, I want you to smoke. It might have been a week. I'll just say month. For the first, he's like, for the first month, I want you to smoke. Oh no, it was by the day. So the first day, I think the guy told him, he's like, I smoke a pack a day. And he's like, okay, starting tomorrow, I want you to smoke a whole pack a day. And then the next day, smoke the whole pack minus one. And he told him to keep doing that. And he's like, even if a day comes where you think where you're like maybe halfway through the pack and you're like, oh, I don't need any more. No. On purpose, smoke the rest of what you told yourself you were gonna smoke. And so he would just do it by one every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Till the end where he only had one more to smoke. He smoked the last one. He's like, it was that slowly taking off the addiction in a way.
Weaning off. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was able to quit forever doing it that way versus the cold turkey, which I think a lot of people try to do. And I think I think that's what the bucket of water is. It's the cold turkey.
Yeah. I think sometimes it works. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I've done a lot of that. I've cold turkeyed a lot of bad habits.
I think it can work. I
And
feel like for the most people, it's not the best approach.
yeah,
Though. What do you think?
for me, I don't think it works.
Yeah.
They just come back because
Uh-huh.
I know me. And
Yeah.
it's like I don't forget. And it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think like the biggest part about like changing habits, I think, is being honest, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like tell somebody about the habits you're wanting to change. I think that's when things start to lose power over us, is when we speak about them and talk to people about them. It's the secrets that keep us like bound to those addictions or those habits that we have. So being honest is, like you said, the first big thing. And I think it's the most powerful too. Um, so like for me, for example, um, I feel like I don't know. I don't really have a problem talking about this anymore because I've talked about it.
Mm.
But like, I think starting at like 13, started watching pornography, just like every 13-year-old does,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like I feel like I would cold turkey that and then would come back. I'd cold turkey and then come back, cold turkey and come back. Kind of went on and off.
Mhm.
And I feel I've never felt more free from it now, and it was because of one thing I was told to change that habit. It was in a podcast I was listening to, and he said to change the identity that you take on yourself. So, for an example he gave was, if you want to work out every day, then identify yourself as a person. Like, take on that title of,
Persona.
yeah, like,
Mhm.
I'm the kind of person that works out every single day, even if it's only for a few minutes. I'm the kind of person that does it no matter what. And so it's like, okay, I like that. So I did that for working out. So even like every day, even if I only do something small, I work out every single day.
Mhm.
And I just took on that identity, and that like made it really easy to do that. But then as far as like pornography goes, I was like, hey, I'm not the kind of person that watches this anymore. I didn't even say anymore, but I'm not the kind of person that does that. That's not me. That's
Right.
not who I am.
Like it wasn't ever a part of you.
Right. And ever since I took on
So you
that,
disassociated it from your life,
yeah,
and
from
that's
who
what
I
gave.
am. Yeah. And
Oh,
since
that's
then,
pretty cool.
it's never been a thing. Like, I'll even like things will come up on social media still that'll be like, yeah, like you feel that.
You're like, whoa,
But
and
like,
then you're like,
but since I've done that, I just keep going,
yeah.
or like people reach out on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I even got a text the other day of just like, hey, check out this
Oh,
nakedpeople.com, whatever
dude,
it was, right?
it chases us. It
Yeah.
chases you.
So like that was a huge thing. And so
Uh-huh.
I was like, hey, that worked well for me. It might not work well for the next person, but
Right.
taking on a new identity of, okay, I'm the kind of person that reads books every day.
I feel like that has a lot of power. Like I've
Yeah.
never thought about it before. Like,
Yeah.
but I look back on things that I have stopped or people I have cut out or left,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because I was like, okay, I don't do that. And
Right.
that's when it started to happen. When I told myself, when I was my own boss, when I was coaching myself, I don't know.
I like that.
When I said, "Yo," and it's like, "Adam, you piece of junk, you don't do that. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, coach. Put me in." I can't because you're doing that. Oh, I just want to play.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like that's a cool way. So the disassociation of past self,
Yeah.
where it's not even you anymore, or it never was you to begin with.
Yeah. Like,
Daggum,
I'm
dude,
not
that's
the kind
because.
of person that does that. I am the kind of person that reads a book every day. I am the kind
But
of
it's
person that journals.
it, it's true. We
Like,
were- I don't know. If you look at bad habits, we weren't born with bad habits.
right.
Like we were never that.
It all came from somewhere.
Yeah. So telling yourself, I'm not that because I never because I wasn't that.
That was really powerful for me. Like,
Dude, that
it changed my life.
that's wild. That's
I
dude,
was-
my brain's like going wild right now. Like it
yeah.
probably doesn't look like it, but inside those hamsters are running, dude.
Yeah.
Like those things are running.
Yeah. That is a powerful one.
Do a backflip.
Trying to think anything else. So like another thing I think they talked about, and that I haven't used as much, but I have used it, is like reminders. Like setting reminders, like physical ones around your where you live. Like what he said is like buy some sticky notes, some like green or neon sticky notes, and put it on your wall. And you know that when you see that, that means I'm gonna do 5 push-ups or something. Like, create that, like,
Hmm.
associated with the habit. And so it's like, if you can't move or change where you live,
Change your
you
environment.
can change parts of your environment. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you could move the furniture. You can set up a sticky note or something, or remove the photos on the wall, and have little reminders that way to, oh yeah, stop doing this or do that. So that's another way. If there's someone out there that's like, how do I create a new good habit? Just, yeah, you can change your environment. Like routines. I think routines they're very really powerful for me. Like, I think it's easy to build habits on top of habits. Like, one of my habits is I wake up, I make my bed. As soon as I'm done making my bed, I get a drink of water, and I take like a like a supplement, like a probiotic in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that, I know I go and brush my teeth. After I brush my teeth, I read my book for 15 minutes. After I read my book, I don't have anything after that actually. But
My day starts.
like that's like the first, like half hour of my day ish. Sometimes like usually if I have time, if I don't have to go right to work, I'll work out and then I'll go to work. Or usually by that point my day either is starting or every day is a little different, right?
Yeah.
So I keep it flexible, but it's a lot easier to have one habit and then okay, right after that I'll know it's now this next habit I'm going to put on top of it. I think it's a lot easier to start small, kind of like that, only doing one cigarette less a day. Start with like 1 minute, like when before I got like created a habit of reading, I um just started with 5 minutes because I was like, who can't do 5 minutes? And then I went on to 6 minutes the next week and 7 minutes the week after that. So starting
Right.
small, I think, is really, really powerful, even though it might feel insignificant.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. Man,
Like,
I just keep thinking about what you said. I'm like, man, that's wild.
yeah,
Like my brain's like, how did you not know that?
new identity. Yeah, I never thought of that before too, but it was like, holy crap, that was huge. So,
Crap, that was huge. Just like
yeah,
that.
it like totally
You don't
changed my
sound
life.
too thrilled.
Dude, I'm psyched
That's
about it.
yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I mean, I guess just kind of supporting what you're saying about, I mean, just start out your day with good things, like good habits. Like
Mm-hmm.
I used to, now my work has gotten the best of me and I want to get back to it, but it's just tough with my job and stuff. But I used to wake up when I was working 2 jobs at the time. I was working full time at like as a mail clerk. So I just sat at a desk all day and sorted through papers and did mail. And then right after I got off of work, I'd go home and I'd get 5 minutes to get a snack and change clothes. And then I worked at a gym for 5, 6 hours. And I just like, I love to work out and I didn't have, but I used to wake up I told myself, you're going to get up at 5:30 every morning. And what I would do is I would get up, I would read, or I would do yoga, and then I would go to the gym. And then I would be home in time and I was like I'd come home, I'd take a shower, I'd cook breakfast, and then I'd go out the door to work. And then I worked till 10:30, 11 at night. And same thing every morning. And I was super happy. And that, I look back, I think a lot of it had to do with my routine.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I was going to do right when I woke up. I knew what exactly was going to happen. And I went and I did it. And I was in control. So being in control, even at the start of the day, makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like a lot of times how we start our day is how the rest of the day goes. Like I think that uh, I don't know a lot about this, but it's like the first meal of our day kind of creates our cravings for the rest of the day. It's like
Right.
whatever we start out with kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, starting it out strong, creating and building those habits can really it goes a long way.
It does.
And it's nice when there's things you want to do every day and you don't really have to think about it or, put too much energy into making the choice to do it just because it's a habit.
Right. You just know it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
am this type of person.
I am this type of
Yeah.
person.
I am not this person.
Yeah.
So cool, man. So cool. Anyway, looks like we're about running out of time.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Any last words of wisdom that you haven't already spit into this mic?
I know. I think I'll just reemphasize if there's any habits you want to take out of your life or any habits you want to add to your life, start small. Don't start with lifting a big heavy weight because you'll hurt yourself. You probably won't succeed. So, I mean, you can. I'm not saying you won't. Everyone's different. So, first off, do what's best for you. But if you want to make reading a habit, start with what you know you can do without fail. For me, it was 5 minutes. Or if you're working out, if you want to create a habit of working out, who can't work out for 60 seconds? Just get it down and pump as many push-ups as you can out, or whatever it may be. But just start small, and every day or every week, whatever makes sense to you, add a minute, add a rep, add a page. Because it's that starting small and gradually getting bigger that really sets a solid foundation for yourself in the habits and makes them more sustainable. So start small because you don't have to be great to start. You have to start to be great.
Dago.
Boom. Okay, what about you? Any last thoughts?
Just echo what you said. It was good. Start small, and those small repetitive motions, actions in your life will lead to those giant successes. Your next success.
Your next success. That's right. Okay.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, we just barely changed Adam's Instagram name. So if you go to
so it's not dumb.
if you look for Atomic Bastion, it's not there anymore. It's what is it? Adam P. Bastion.
Yeah. So, like they were looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, wow, where's Atomic Bastion? Yeah, okay. A whole 60 followers. Let's go.
Whole 60. And then I'm typing the Skylar B because my last
He's got
name
like a
is,
million followers.
Yeah, whole 170 or something.
Yeah, we're pretty popular.
470.
Yeah, we're pretty popular.
But yeah, that's how you can find us. Reach out to us. We'd love. I think we'll do a Q&A at some point soon.
Yeah, we'd love to.
So if you have questions or things you want to know about, send them our way.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you later.